If you've ever wondered how the Amish managed to grow such big, healthy vegetables without modern machines or chemicals, the secret lies in their time-tested methods. For over 300 years, Amish families have cultivated rich, fertile soil that produces abundant harvests season after season, all without tilling the ground. In fact, they avoid tilling altogether, and that single choice transforms their gardens into low-maintenance, weed-resistant, nutrient-dense ecosystems. So, what is it about this old-world technique that modern gardeners can learn from? Let's dig in. The Amish approach to gardening begins with a deep respect for the soil. They believe that soil is a living system, not just dirt to be turned and manipulated. When you till the ground, it might look like you're fluffing up the soil and preparing it for planting, but in reality, you're disturbing a delicate underground world. Tilling rips apart fungal networks, exposes beneficial microbes to the sun where they die off, and stirs up weed seeds from deep below the surface, essentially creating more work for yourself later. The Amish know this, and instead of tilling, they practice what we would now call no-dig or no-till gardening. In Amish gardens, the soil is never flipped over with a tiller. Instead, they build fertility from the top down. This is done by layering organic matter such as straw, leaves, compost, and manure right on the surface of the soil. Over time, earthworms, microbes, and other soil life take these materials down into the ground naturally, feeding the soil in the process. The result is soft, rich, crumbly earth that holds moisture, resists erosion, and grows plants with strong roots. By working with nature instead of against it, Amish gardens thrive with far less labor. One of the biggest benefits of this method is weed control. If you've ever battled weeds in your garden, you know how relentless they can be. But here's the thing, when you till, you're essentially planting weeds. Weed seeds buried deep in the soil are brought to the surface where they get light, warmth, and the perfect conditions to sprout. No-till gardening prevents this problem. In an Amish garden, thick layers of mulch cover the soil, blocking sunlight and smothering weeds before they can grow. The few weeds that do manage to appear are weak and easy to pull by hand. With consistent mulching, weeding almost becomes unnecessary. Moisture retention is another key reason the Amish avoid tilling. Loose, tilled soil dries out quickly under the sun, forcing gardeners to water more often. But when organic matter is layered on top, it acts like a sponge. Mulch traps moisture in the soil, reducing the need for irrigation and protecting plants during hot, dry spells. Amish farmers often say that the mulch does the watering because the soil beneath stays cool and damp even in midsummer. This not only saves time, but also helps vegetables grow larger and sweeter because they're never stressed by drought. Nutrient cycling is also more effective under the Amish method. Instead of synthetic fertilizers, they rely on natural inputs like composted manure, decomposed plants, and cover crops. These materials feed soil organisms, which in turn release nutrients in forms that plants can easily absorb. By feeding the soil rather than just the plant, the Amish create a self-sustaining cycle where fertility builds year after year. Many modern gardeners struggle with declining soil health because they strip nutrients away and rely on store-bought fertilizers. The Amish, on the other hand, end up with soil that gets richer the longer they farm it. Another fascinating part of Amish gardening is their use of cover crops, plants grown not for harvest, but to protect and enrich the soil. Rye, clover, and alfalfa are commonly sown after the growing season. These crops suppress weeds, prevent erosion, and add organic matter when they're cut and left on the surface. In spring, instead of tilling them under, the Amish simply layer more compost or mulch on top and plant directly through it. The cover crop residue slowly breaks down, feeding microbes and improving soil structure. The results speak for themselves. Amish-grown vegetables are often larger, more nutrient-dense, and more flavorful than those grown in conventional tilled gardens. Their tomatoes grow tall and heavy with fruit. Their potatoes dig easily from soft soil, and their leafy greens stay tender and vibrant without constant watering. By respecting the natural balance of the soil and avoiding unnecessary disturbance, they've discovered a gardening system that is both highly productive and sustainable. So, what can you take from the Amish and apply to your own backyard? Start small. Instead of tilling this year, try adding a thick layer of compost and mulch over your planting area. Plant directly into it and keep adding organic matter as the season goes on. You'll notice fewer weeds, better water retention, and healthier plants. Over time, as worms and microbes do their work, your soil will transform into the same fertile, living earth that has sustained Amish families for centuries. The truth is, modern gardening often complicates what should be simple. The Amish remind us that we don't need machines, chemicals, or constant labor to grow abundant food. With patience, observation, and the right techniques, you can let nature do the heavy lifting. Their 300-year-old method still works today because it honors the soil as a living partner, not just something to be controlled. If you want bigger vegetables, fewer weeds, and healthier soil, maybe it's time to put away the tiller and take a page from the Amish playbook.